Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. 2 people killed and 9 others injured in Trelawny crash. 2 people were killed and 9 others were injured in a motor vehicle crash along the Repatriation main road in Trelawny at about 5:30 a.m. on November 12. Of the Trelawny Police Division, Deputy Superintendent Winston Milton said a coaster bus transporting hotel workers reportedly crashed into a parked truck. Noting that speeding was a factor in the morning's crash, DSP Milton is urging motorists to use roadways responsibly.
The Trelawny police are currently investigating a fatal motor vehicle crash which occurred about 5:30 a.m. this morning. It occurred along the Repatriation main road. It involves a Toyota Coaster minibus which was conveying staff to a hotel in the parish and a parked Peterbilt motor truck. The information is still sketchy. We're still in the early stage of putting together the facts as it relates to this one. However, we can confirm that 11 persons sustained the injury as a result of the collision. There were passengers in the Toyota Coaster motorbus. 2 of the passengers have since succumbed to their injury. I am fully convinced now that it's a matter of attitude that is creating the problems that we're having on our roadways, particularly here in Trelawny. We have, been appealing to motorists to abide by the speed limit and other rules of the road, particularly the road traffic act. We have been out there stringently enforcing the road traffic act, but we continue to experience these mishaps. For what it's worth, I'm going to continue to, implore motorists to be careful whilst using the roadway. Ensure that you obey the laws, particularly the speed limit. We cannot say what led to this fatal motor vehicle crash, but what we do know is that speeding was involved. So, we're urging motorists to be careful as you use the roadway, particularly when it's wet. Be aware of the road condition and adjust your driving accordingly, because we must bring about a change of attitude for our motorists. It is causing a serious problem on the health system, and I'm sure too a lot of families are in mourning this morning because of this particular impact. So it is also negatively impacting our families. So, just be careful on the road. There's a life, that will end up in loss may even also be yours.
Police encounter roadblocks in the murder of 9-year-old autistic child.
I am standing here on the Fairfield Main Road, where on Thursday, the 13th day of January 2022, 9-year-old Gabrielle King's life was taken away. His body was found with his throat slashed in a blue Audi SUV. Since that time, the team of investigators, they have employed a range of technological, forensic, and cyber strategies in attempting to make a breakthrough in this case. We've collected statements. We've even brought an expert on a motor vehicle of the exact make and model to the one young Gabrielle was killed in on that day. Based on what was reported to us, the crime scene was reenacted. Several case conferences were conducted by the detectives. Earlier on this year, my detectives made an application for a production order pursuant to Section 21 of the Cyber Crimes Act for the mother of the deceased to give permission to have access to her cell phone. That cell phone has been in the custody of the police since January when this murder took place. On the 6th of September 2022, the production order was granted by the parish judge, stating that within 48 hours of the service of the order, that the key and communication cell site and other data surrounding the phone be handed over for the purpose of the criminal investigation into the murder of Gabrielle King. Through her lawyers, she is now challenging the order made on September 6. This key aspect of the investigation is sub judice, and as such, I will refrain from discussing that aspect at this time. Investigations are time sensitive, and the shelf life of some forms of evidence is limited. We were able to close the 1,000 case in 3 weeks through hard work, cooperation, and support from our citizens and persons close to the investigation. I would say that from the day of this murder, we we have been faced with roadblocks, some non-cooperation, and some legal fencing from persons who should be readily assisting with the investigation. I take this opportunity to appeal to the public. I am asking those who can help to support us to provide us with the information that they have. I am appealing to the conscience of that person who has some information that can help to solve this case to call Crime Stop at 311 or to call the National Intelligence Bureau tip line at 811. The perpetrators of this crime are still walking free. I ask that you find it in your heart to come forward and tell us what you know.
Jamaicans react to Warmington's skin color comments about Golden.
Everybody has freedom of speech. Everybody's entitled to their own opinions. But at the end of the day, if you're going to decide that somebody cannot be the prime minister because of the color of their skin, that means that a lot of persons who own businesses in Jamaica are not supposed to be entitled to own businesses in Jamaica because we're mostly black, right? So, with that being said, at the end of the day, if you go back to slavery, we the black people is who actually sold out ourselves. So, sold ourselves to the background. So, what are you going to say about that?
Slavery was back then in the days, and nowadays people are kind of open-minded to certain things, and we're kind of move away from that. So we're not going to discriminate a guy for what his ancestors did. So I mean, if he is for the people, by the people, because we're in a democratic society, I mean, vote for him and, whatever. Give him a chance and see what he's about.
Well, that's Mr. Warmington. He's always going to step out the line with person. Whether the only thing left for him to do is just get physical down by Duke Street. But as regards to what he's saying, it's kind of a paradigm shift as what people say. Back then, like person is more gravitate to person with lighter skin tone. So it's a level between classism and being disrespectful at the highest level to me. But what he's saying is basically his opinion. That's nothing that is someone going to come and gravitate to. And one of the things person must realize in that over the last 5 general elections, there's less person going to the poll. So as regards to who become prime minister, it don't really matter for Jamaica. So that's just what I basically have to say.
Well, this is Jamaica. People get away with anything, especially politicians. But I think something should be done. Even slap on the wrist, something should be done. They can't just go around just calling out people for being whatever because of what the ancestors did.
I believe that comment is racist. Making decisions doesn't have anything to do with your skin color or your family history. So I would say that is racist.
Well, I wouldn't think that he should be punished because everyone is entitled to their own opinions and everybody has freedom of speech.
Well, as regards to punishment, what he going to do? A slap on the wrist? That's Mr. Warmington. He always does what he does. So punishment is nothing for him. I think he just should leave representation and politics because it's not 1, 2, 3 or 4. It's a lot of time he has basically behave is in bad manner. So that's just basically my opinion.
In my opinion, everyone has the right to state their opinion, freedom of speech. So, real and truly, it's up to the law body to pass that judgment. But, I mean, you're free to say what you want.
Fishermen who had been detained in Colombia on allegations of illegal fishing arrived in Jamaica. The fishermen who have been detained in Colombia on allegations of illegal fishing arrived in Jamaica on November 11. The 33 Jamaicans and 4 Dominicans were picked up by the Jamaica Defense Force Coast Guard from the Colombian Coast Guard during a transfer at sea. Foreign Affairs Minister Senator Camila Johnson-Smith has expressed satisfaction with the efforts made by various government entities to get the fishermen home. She said the fishing boat's owner is expected to refund part of the fuel costs encouraged by the government to facilitate the fishermen's operation.
We are so happy to report that all 33 Jamaican fishermen are now on the island, although regrettably, as previously advised, the captain has been detained in Colombia to face charges. I extend heartfelt appreciation to the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries for securing the necessary funding for the Jamaican leg of the repatriation, as well as to the JDF for coordinating the logistics with their Colombian counterparts and for receiving the fishermen at the arranged meeting point where they were transported to Jamaica. I really have to also acknowledge PICA's critical role in the verification process related to the crew members. As always, I commend my hardworking consular team at the Foreign Ministry for always exercising due care for our citizens as they perform the often challenging and detailed process of providing assistance to our nationals overseas. I also wish to commend the boat owner who, in recognition of the private nature of his enterprise, has committed to reimbursing the government for no less than one half of the cost of the fuel purchased by JDF to undertake the repatriation exercise.
Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell.